If your heart stopped beating, you were dead. Rudimentary efforts. Let's see this word in the beginning.
Rudimentary.
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 Rudimentary efforts to achieve this started in the mid-1960s. American psychology professor James Bedford, the first human to be frozen chronically. Let's see this word. Chronically.
Cryonically.
Cryonically preserved to date. Roughly 600 people globally have undergone a chronic, I think it's chronic, see it. Cryonic procedure. There's good reason to think techniques used in previous decades are just no good, argues Zelzheniko Johnstone. Try to straight freeze a human body or brain, ice crystals destroy the tissue. More complicated versions have been tried. The addition of what's ostensibly, let's see this word.
Ostensibly,
and I think I need to see the other word too. Antifreeze. Ostensibly antifreeze, but they've led to severe dehydration. Bluntly, brains shrivel up. Obviously, nobody has demonstrated the reversal of the process, and brain tissue preserved this way doesn't look good under a microscope. Now, Zelzheniko Johnstone offers an alternative suggestion. Aldehyde. Let's see this word. Aldehyde, yeah?
Aldehyde.
Aldehyde stabilized. This word too. Aldehyde.
Stabilized.
Aldehyde stabilized. Let's see this word. I'm struggling today.
Cryopreservation.
Also known as fixation, essentially, he says, by introducing chemicals at the opportune. Let's see it.
Opportune.
And I want to see this word. Fixation, I said.
Fixation.
Yeah, fixation. Opportune moment which preserve the structure of someone's brain. We can hold into its circuitry. What was this word? I think it's a word from circle.
Circuitry
And structures. Once frozen, and in a sense, preserving our identity indefinitely in lapse. This process of fixation is used routinely with animal research, developed in 2015. It's not a complicated procedure and has been tested on large animals and humans. Post-mortem. Let's see this word. Post-mortem. I said post-mortem. Let's see if I could say it correctly.
Post-mortem.
Yeah, it's almost there. Two groups on the US West Coast, Zelzheniko Johnstone tells me, are on the cusp of offering this to the public. Another in Europe. It can certainly be done today. He is confident. And in the next year, it'll be more accessible. It could be rolled out quickly if there was demand. He tots up rough costs in the book's closing chapters at today's prices. Roughly $13,000 should pay for initial preservation procedure. If done at scale, a further $1,300 annually should account for ongoing storage and associated admin costs. I'm not an accountant, he adds, but that's my best estimate. Small change compared to the cash required for many medical procedures, from cancer therapies to transplants. But how we might eventually recruit, let's see this word, how I could pronounce it correctly.
Resurrect.
Resurrect. It's resurrect. Resurrect remains unclear. What use is pressing pause without a restart button? There, he accepts we're firmly into the field of sci-fi. This word again, I can't even pronounce it. Sci-fi? Not sci-fi. I don't think it's sci-fi. Let's hear.
Sci-fi.
Sci-fi. Sci-fi unfazed. Zelzanico Johnstone's opines. Let's see it.
Opines.
Opines that measure advances in nanomedicine, I suppose. Let's see it again. Not again, I don't see it before.
Nanomedicine.
It's medicine, basically. Nanomedicine offer one route, else there's what's known as mind uploading or mind emulsion, transferring someone to a digital form. Break down the elements and it's a fairly straightforward extrapolation from today's technology, he says. Take very high resolution scans of brain structure to characterize how someone's neurons work, recreate it in a digital format, then put it in another robotic, virtual or biological body. Future scientists will need to fill in the details, yet if the memories and experiences which define us are hold on to, a person has survived a robotic or digital brain. If done right, I'd argue it's still you. If tomorrow Zelzanico Johnstones received a terminal diagnosis, he'd eventually undergo the brain preservation procedure. He'd encourage friends and family to follow. My fear of death hasn't been assuaged. Let's see it. Assuaged, he says. It scares me. What I'm proposing isn't magic. Even if it's to fruition. Is it fruition or fruition?
Fruition.
To fruition. Countless. Fabulous. Again, another word that I don't know how to pronounce.
Variables.
Variables would need to land in our favor. The tech developed and implemented properly. Nuclear war and climate catastrophe avoided. Some future generation opting to offer their distant ancestors another chance at life. A guarantee of everyone I love returning. I still miss them in the short term, but it does provide some comfort. My existential despair that everyone I love will one day disappear hasn't gone away completely, but it offers a glimmer of hope. Still unconvinced, just look, he urges to another word, difficult one. Let me try to pronounce it. Anesthesia. Prior to the mid-19th century, if you needed an operation, you just had to cope with the pain. Yes, you could take some herbs, alcohol, maybe. Opiatus? Let's see.
Opiates.
Opiates, if they were available. Alternatives included what words? Ostensibly, strangulation, als delivering a knockout blow to the patient's head. Let's see this word. Strangulation. Yeah.
Strangulation.
This was the case throughout human history until the discovery of again, this word. I can't even know how to pronounce it.
Anesthesia.
It was an unprecedented, let's see. Unprecedented change. No longer did you have to suffer. There is far from consensus on these topics. Much is uncharted territory. A newly published survey of 300 neuroscientists found 40% predict brain preservation and restoration will prove possible. Still, Zelzenin-Cujonstone is more than prepared to see his entire thesis shot down. I think this is thesis. Let's see.
Thesis,
not theses. Thesis shot down. Suspectics. Yeah, let's see it. Is it a name or something?
skeptics,
It is not a name. Skeptics should put in the effort to scrutinize. Let's see this word.
scrutinize,
Yeah, correctly. Scrutinize and critically appraise my proposal, he says. Either proving that what I'm advocating for can't work, in which case I'll apologize and abandon it, or they'll realize what I'm suggesting has merit. Let's see it. Merit or merit?
merit,
Has merit. It's time to establish an academic consensus on the current and near-term visibility. This word is with this one, I suppose, of brain preservation. One thing, however, is for certain. In an instant, what was once believed impossible can become just another fact of life. The future loves you. How and why we should abolish death by Dr. Ariel Zelzenin-Cujonstone, published by Alan Lane at 25 pounds. Buy it for... Ooh, I don't want to buy it. I finished this article. It was a long article today. It took me 30 minutes to read. Yeah, I think I'm gonna close this one.